What caused that contact?
Like this monster time. If you don't like the commercials, well, too bad. I'm gonna have to fast forward.
We go to Scotland to find out what's hiding at the bottom of Loch Ness.
I know, it sucks, the glide.
Loch Ness. Undoubtedly one of the most mysterious bodies of water in the world. 22.5 miles long and over 900 feet deep. It's the largest inland body of water in the British Isles. I'm John Chatterton.
And I'm Richie Kohler. The volume of the loch is so large that it can accommodate the entire population of the Earth 3 times over. That makes this one heck of a place to hide.
The Loch Ness Monster has captured imaginations for a long time. There are hundreds of officially reported sightings. And at some point, you gotta ask the question, are all of these people wrong? Or is it possible at least a few of them are right?
At least you can hear it.
I looked in the loch and there's huge commotion.
Very shiny black, not a wave.
Well, it's an Loch Ness Monster.
And it's huge, absolutely huge.
And I said, well, and he said, oh, it was an otter. And I said, that's not an otter, mate.
All of these 26 people were convinced what they saw was a living creature of some description.
Now, there are many theories about the Loch Ness Monster. Some people claim it's a large fish, a marine mammal, and others believe it's possibly a prehistoric creature that somehow evaded extinction. And no matter what Nessie is or is not, we plan on getting to the bottom of it.
It's a mystery nearly 1,500 years old. The first recorded sighting was reported by St. Columba in 565 AD, when the beast rises up out of the water to attack a man. Since then, there have been hundreds of sightings and photographs. Of all the photos, none captures the public's imagination like this one. To people all over the world, this is the Loch Ness Monster.
I do not own the History Channel.
Submitted to a newspaper in 1934 by a respectable surgeon, Dr. Robert
Well, that was
Wilson.
kind of stupid.
It's been controversial from the beginning. People have been trying to analyze it, prove, and disprove it. This is the iconic image of the Loch Ness Monster that has stood the test of time. But is it real, or is it a hoax? Richie and I figure this is a good place to begin our investigation. First, we want to see if it's possible to duplicate the photo.
What John's done is he's got a model of Nessie. We're going to go out there and see if we can replicate these photographs. A little further, John.
It isn't easy. We want to get as close as we can to the wind and wave conditions in the picture. And we need to line up the shot without using any digital tricks. Once Richie's photos are digitized on the laptop, we compare them to the prints of the surgeon's photo.
The two photographs are extremely similar. This raises the possibility that the surgeon's photo is a fraud. It's a fake.
You know what, John? You and I have been on the water a long time, and you look at this, and your mind has told you that history said this is real, this is the monster. Now, when you do this,
you know, when you and I are watching something on television, you can tell the difference between, oh, that's a real ship on the ocean, or oh, that's a model.
In one afternoon's work, we've been able to get a pretty decent fake, so we want to know whether Wilson's photo is a fake. In 1994, researcher and artist Alistair Boyd wrote a book saying that the photo is a hoax. We want to hear his evidence.
Alistair, this photograph right here has been seen by probably everybody in the world. What is there about this photograph that you have a problem with?
Well, actually, I always did have a problem with it, although
The first thing Alistair notices is that the creature seems out of proportion. Comparing the size of the animal with the waves on the surface of the water, the creature appears too small. To learn more, Alistair tries to locate the photographer.
You find out, well, no, the chap himself is dead, but he has a stepbrother who is still alive. He's 89, but he's still alive. Can he tell us the story? Yes, he can.
The stepbrother admits that in 1934, he and a group of men equip a toy submarine with the head and neck of a dinosaur set it on the water, and photograph it. Then they convince a reputable surgeon, Dr. Robert Wilson, who happens to love practical jokes, to submit the photo to a local newspaper. But the joke is too successful and gains international notoriety. Then, in 1991, on his deathbed, one of the men confesses to the hoax, ending years of speculation.
The 1934 photograph of Nessie, the most famous photograph of the Loch Ness Monster, is clearly a fake.
Yes, sadly, yes.
So, can we conclude that the Loch Ness Monster itself is a fake?
No. The existence of Nessie is a completely different thing, and it's unfortunate that this ever got taken seriously as evidence.
If we can discard this photographic evidence, what proof do you have to tell us that Nessie exists?
Well, the evidence in my own eyes.
You've seen Nessie?
I've seen Nessie, yes, 25 years ago. Yes,
Tell us about that.
Completely, clearly, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. It was a wet Monday afternoon. The water was flat calm, but the rain was coming down, the surface was sort of pitted. I saw a small dark shape like that. And I tapped Sue, my wife, on the shoulder and just said, well, what's that over there? And she was reading a magazine. Then all of a sudden, whatever it was, this thing just kind of took off. This hump came just heaving out of the water like a whale. I mean, this is a big, big object. It's like a hull of a yacht upside down. So you're left with something sitting there, black, symmetrical hump. My wife said, quick, get the camera. And I hadn't even thought to pick the camera up. You see something like this, and the camera's the last thing on your mind. We both turned around to get the camera out, which was in a plastic bag with the lens cap on, which isn't very useful. And by the time we turned around, there is nothing on the surface at all. You don't expect to see something sort of huge like that. And I suppose in sort of half a second, I realised that, crikey, there really is something here. And with this,
Alistair's testimony is pretty convincing. But if there is something there, why has no one ever found a body?
and I thought that's the end of it.
And what kind of creature could it be?
That's it.
Our next step is to meet with Lauren Coleman, a cryptozoologist who has investigated Loch Ness for years.
Exactly what is a cryptozoologist?
Cryptozoology is the study of hidden or unknown animals that have as yet not been verified and classified by science. So the way that we get evidence is we look for old folklore and traditions. We then look for current eyewitness accounts that hook up with tangible evidence. And with the Loch Ness Monster, for instance, because it's in water, it's a lot harder to get that tangible evidence. If we get tangible evidence plus eyewitness plus a tradition in an area, then all of the things start coming together.
Within the last 100
Right.
years, what kind of animals have actually been discovered?
Many animals have been discovered, but the big darlings of cryptozoology, so to speak, are the mountain gorilla, the sulaw, and the coelacanth, as well as the symbol for cryptozoology has been the okapi, which is an animal that looks like a giraffe, looks like a zebra, but was found in the deep, deep forest of the Congo. All of these animals were just known from the local natives, and we didn't know about them in Western
But
sciences.
they've been there the whole time, it's just that...
They've been there, they were eco-known, is the word we use. Known by the locals, but not known by Western science. And so that's what cryptozoology is really about. Listening to native peoples, listening to local residents, even if they're just people from around the Loch Ness. They're telling us what they know about their environment.
When you look at all of the evidence coming from Loch Ness, what do you think?
I see the evidence is of a mammal. I'm really open to looking at the fact that it may be some species of giant seal that hasn't been classified. And as you know, probably, it's only a mile between the loch and the ocean. So we may have migration between the two. That's very exciting.
Undiscovered species? It's happened before. If the Loch Ness Monster does exist, it wouldn't be the first time science has been wrong. It's time for us to get a look for ourselves. To most people, Loch Ness means monsters, but to divers, it's all about cold and dark. This loch has some of the